Yo, Chicken Bacon, Connor here, and today I'm doing an update video for DayZ Standalone, and it's been quite a while since I've done one of these because not much has changed in the game fundamentally wise. So, today we're going to talk about the new features in the 0.55 update as well as how to survive the 0.55 update because many people are having trouble and starving to death and other things of that nature, as this patch is much harder than any previous ones, which is awesome. It's actually finally a real kind of survival game. So, one of the most major changes is the central loot economy, as well as having persistence turned on for every single server. So this is the first implementation of this as well. So loot currently is slightly bugged and is extremely hard to find. Some servers will have absolutely no loot, and if that's the case, be sure to tell the admin to turn on persistence, so that way loot will actually spawn. But even when loot is spawning, there's not that much. So, they've made quite a few changes as well. These small pawns around the map now have a chance of making you sick when you drink from them. So, how do you survive without cans of food and sodas, and you can't drink from ponds? Well, you need to drink from both wells that are in most towns, and pick apples from trees. There are apple trees all around the map, and while it is rather tedious and takes some time in order to get an apple from a tree, it'll hold you over until you can eventually find a can of food, which is somewhat rare. So using apple trees and wells is making it pretty much impossible to die of either starvation or dehydration. And I should mention that most apple trees are alongside roads and in the center of towns. So check around towns and check alongside roads for apple trees. Another great source of food is hunting wildlife, which is rather common, but unfortunately you do need matches in order to cook them, which are really rare at the moment. I actually haven't seen a box of matches since the patch, really. Alternatively, a better source of food than apples is actually pumpkins and tomatoes, which you can plant in the ground and farm them, but unfortunately you do need the proper farming tools, whereas with apples, you can just simply walk up to a tree and pick them. So another thing that will kill you really quickly in this patch is the cold. And it seems that whenever it's raining, you get cold extremely fast. So whenever it's raining, be sure to duck into a building, or alternatively, you can find a raincoat, which spawns in industrial sheds and houses, as well as fishing canoes on the shoreline, which will spawn like 5 or 6 of them at once. The next major change is the zombies. So they're now actually a threat, which is great. But they also no longer spot you from hundreds and hundreds of meters away, and you can actually avoid the zombies now by breaking line of sight. But if you do happen to aggro a zombie, be aware they're extremely difficult to melee, and whenever possible, it's best to just shoot the zombies. Whenever you shoot a zombie and they don't die, they will have this new knockback animation, which you can see here. That's pretty cool. So if you are unarmed and you have a zombie aggroed, the best thing to do is to just run around until you can find a room with only one entrance, and then close the door and lock the zombie inside of the house where they can't get out. And with that, you should be covered on all bases and should be ready for the 0.55 patch, and good luck. If you have any other survival tips that I missed, be sure to leave them in the comments to help anyone else out, and peace out.